Nebraska played great. We were concerned with their dribble penetration, their ability to get to the free throw line. So we tried to plug up the lane a little bit early. To their credit, they made us pay with the three-point shot. And that kind of got the crowd into the game and got us off to a rough start. And then we're fighting an uphill battle the rest of the game. Having said that, we cut it to 13 at halftime. We scored on 8 out of 12 possessions to start the second half. But they scored on 9 out of 12, and our 13-point deficit was still a 13-point deficit, 6-7 minutes in, when we were pretty efficient offensively against a very good defensive team. So, we had no answer for them defensively. They won the 50-50 plays today. But they played like a veteran team that was desperate for a win. And they were really good today.
Questions for either gentleman?
I guess when you guys fell down 16-18 there late in the first half, what did you kind of say to the guys to get them to?
Well, we had a couple possessions, and a couple guys said it in the timeout. There's no 18-point play. We took a quick three, I think, from the top. And then, we tried to get one inside, and we over-dribbled, and they came in and stripped it. And, our message to the guys, when you get in that situation, you don't go faster, you go slower. You don't throw less passes, you throw more passes. You don't cut less, you cut more. To our credit, we got back in the game against a very good defensive team. But it's too big a hill to climb in this environment today.
Greg, what happened in the first half between you and Miles on the double technical?
I don't know. You have to ask the referee.
What were you upset about?
I have to ask the referee what it was about.
What were you upset about?
I've answered the question.
Mitch, what did you see from their defense that maybe knocked you off track a little bit in the first half, where you couldn't settle in, I guess?
Their defense was, everybody in this room knows how good they are on the defensive end, and we put some new plays in. We executed the new plays that we put in it, but at the end of the day, we just couldn't get going really, and they set the tone early.
How much of an impact did it have, the fact that they hit some threes, got the crowd going, and built the lead early?
Like Coach said, our game plan all week was to pack the paint, and we'll adjust later, but pack the paint and play inside out, and their inside-out game was working today. So, honestly, I can speak for myself and the rest of the guys that were behind Coach's back with whatever game plan he sets in for us going forward. So, when teams hit a couple shots, they get going, and then they just get comfortable sometimes, and we just didn't break rhythm. With that being said, we played in and out, and we just short closeouts like we've been doing all year. We did against Gonzaga, and guys got comfortable, and I don't know, Palmer hit 6 threes, so when you get comfortable, see a couple go, the rim gets a whole lot bigger.
Your team did battle back, as you said. What does it take to do that sooner on the road?
Well, you got to make some shots. You have to get some stops, and you have to get stops first. And it's going to be mind-boggling, the number of points they scored after like a 50-50 scrum situation where the ball's bouncing around and they end up with it. And on a lot of those possessions, they hit a three or they went to the free throw line because we didn't just get it put back together after we didn't get it. So, it's tough. It was a great environment today. The crowd was great, like we thought it would be. But you can't dig a hole like that in an environment like this and expect to survive.
And you guys work a lot on as back to putting together after situations like that, but just how much did it take to win out of your sails in situations where you had to lead to 10 or 11 and you get a stop, either turn it over on the outlet pass or don't corral the rebound and they hit a three on you guys?
Yeah, I think Coach hit on it. I couldn't tell you what they were shooting on our first shot defense, but like Coach said, we just didn't get them off the glass. We didn't rebound, and with that being said, they had 19 second chance points. So, we can clean that up if we just get a couple rebounds and like the outlet pass you said, just being the guy's eyes that you're throwing it to. But I think that's huge. We talked about it in the locker room. Sometimes, we got the lead from like 20 to 10 and trying to get it to 4, but we just didn't get the defensive rebound when we needed to.
Just from your perspective, this is the first road test for this team, and obviously you guys have talked about the environment, but what do you think about the way the guys sort of handled it? What do you see from each other in the huddles, especially early? I mean, I don't know, did it play a factor, do you think, in terms of just not being able to get comfortable?
Yeah, I mean, everybody in the crowd is looking around like, did we handle it well? Probably not, because we got beat by 20. So probably didn't handle it right the way we should have to you guys. But I think we have a tight knit group. We talk about it all the time. We're together, and I think that we can only go up from here. I mean, like you said, we're young. This is the first time I've played in that environment. I mean, at Nebraska, obviously, and the first time a lot of us played here. So with that being said, I think we grew up a little bit. Even though the score sheet doesn't show, I think we learned a lot and we stuck together. And going forward, this is going to be huge for us as we get into late February and early March.
For Coach McDermott, you said they're a veteran team desperate for a win. Why do you think they were desperate for a win?
Well, they lost a tough one Wednesday at Minnesota that they probably should have won. You know, they had it in control and some things kind of went haywire on them. And we beat them 7 times in a row. So talk about desperation. So, you know, those seniors got a lot of pride. They played a lot of basketball. They won a lot of games. You know, Glenn Watson I've known him since he was 16 years old. He's a tough little cookie and played a great game today.
Great. And you might have touched on this, but just offensively, did you feel like the guys settled in the second half? I mean, what was the difference? Just making shots, or what did you see the difference was in the second half?
It moved a little bit better. Our screening was a little bit better. I think we back cut a little bit more, and that loosened up things on the perimeter. As Mitch said, we executed some things that we hadn't run yet this year really well. We're able to free some guys up from shots. We scored out of timeouts. We scored on some OB plays. Nebraska doesn't give up many points on out-of-bounds plays, so we were able to do that, and I felt we were going to need to do that if we were going to come in here and be successful, because this is a really good defensive team. You know, they can switch things and throw different looks at you, whether Roby's at the 5 or they bring in one of the 2 backups. They're giving you different looks all the time, and it's hard to play against them.
2 more.
Do you think about going big at all?
Not really. You know, we needed one, especially when we got behind. We needed skill out there.
You know, coached for a long time, and that atmosphere is. It was pretty electric, and I mean, fans were chanting at you. I guess what was your reaction to that scene?
Well, you don't pay any attention to what fans say. You know, in this business 30 years, if you pay any attention to that.
Wouldn't be here
But
today.
what's that?
You wouldn't be here.
No, I wouldn't. But you know, like Mitch said, we haven't had guys that have been in this environment, and unfortunately, that I really felt like the first 5 or 6 minutes of this game was going to be critical today as to whether the message in the locker room was execution can take the crowd out of the game if you execute, and we just didn't execute well enough on either end of the floor. And you know, once the crowd got started, I think that just added fuel to the fire for the rest of the game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.